you're ready, right? With us specifically, it only takes to start a 580 credit score. If you have that, you do have the option to be qualified. A lot of people, like we mentioned, we talked about all the grants that are available to these folks via either the government grants, via the H2H grant. A lot of times it will cover a lot of your down payment, right? So I think just not being scared to get started, especially with us, we are educational, right? So we like to educate our customers. If you feel like you're not ready, that's fine, but let us know where you are and we can help you get to where you need to be. A lot of customers keep, holding off on the process because they keep thinking they're not ready. In a lot of cases, they actually are ready. They're closer than they think.
Yeah. Well, one of the big mistakes I've seen with first-time home buyers is they tend I've seen it a few times within the last 5 years or so. They tend to they get that good credit score, they enter the process of buying a home, and then they go out and buy a car. How what are some other
Yes,
mistakes
that
that
is.
you feel that first-time home buyers make?
Yeah, that's a big one. We try to remind the customers, don't make any crazy purchases, no big purchases while you're in that process, because that could really mess you up. But yeah, that's a big one. Not making any big purchases. Also, not making any big like income switches, or I mean, unless it's going to increase your income, but not bouncing around from job to job. We like to see consistency across income, so that's a big one. 2-year consistent income is what we want to see, or job stability, I should say, within 2 years. That's another big one as well. Yeah.
Gotcha. How do you feel about the current housing market? Is it affecting buyers' ability to get loans or?
I wouldn't say it's affecting. I think in this market, you definitely got to be patient. What's really good though is interest rates are dropping right now. So now is a really good time to start again reaching out to see about your qualification. But yeah, I think it's just patience right now. I have customers now that are just waiting for that house that they want to just come on the market. But I think it's a really good time. I think it just depends on how I guess the word is picky that you are. I have a lot of customers who want very specific things. And that's another big thing with first time home buyers, right? They want exactly what it is that they want, and they got to learn to they got to be flexible a little bit. They got to pivot. You're not going to get every single thing that you want in a house, but when you find a house that has a majority of what you want, I think that it's like really important to like really consider that house, because you're not going to always find your perfect house, right? You can always buy another house later, right?
Well,
So for a lot of first time home buyers, it's your starter home, right? But you can always buy another house later. You can always refinance later. You can always get a bigger house. You can always get a better house. But if you find a house that has, the 80-20 rule, you find a house that has 80% of what you want and what you see, I think it's really important that you bounce on it. Another thing is just to not sit around pondering. I think that a lot of customers lose houses that they actually are interested in because they're in analysis paralysis, is what we call it.
yeah.
So yeah, if you see a house and you really like it and you're ready, I would say go ahead and put an offer on it. So yeah.
Well, I would add to that. I think that also not only can they buy a house later, right, or get upsides or downsides or whatever the case may be, but in the market right now, if you can find something and it has a good price point, and to your point, 80%, 70% of what it has what you want in it, why not get the property now? And if anything, make it what you want it to be,
And it'll
right?
appreciate, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And so because what people are not paying attention to, everybody want to do what everybody else want to do, and that's buy that gorgeous thing, right? But how about take the next to gorgeous thing and make it your gorgeous and not the gorgeous
And make it
that
gorgeous.
yeah, right? So let's make that make
Exactly.
sense for folks as well, because that could be the opportunity that makes it that you won't have to be in the multiple offer situation. You could be in the deal getting situation.
Exactly.
And I like to call that being more like an investor, because the investors don't pay top dollar. They find the ugly duckling and turn it into what they want. And then guess what, folks? They turn around and sell it back to you for more when you can somewhat do the same exact thing. What do you think about that?
Do the same thing. Yeah, I love that idea. What is it called? House hacking, right? That's something else that I talk a lot to my customers, right? Is, buying a house buying the ugly house, right? Or the house with more than one unit, living in one, you can actually rent out the other one. You can actually make money back on that. Or buying the ugly house, fixing it up and making it what you want it to be. And then, later on down the line, when you're ready for a bigger house or you're ready for another neighborhood or another county, you can always sell that house, right? And make more money off of it. So that's definitely always a good option.
Yeah, because I was just having a conversation with another agent in my office, and she was having a problem finding her client a house. And I went right in the neighborhood where she was at. They got a house right there. The only thing the house didn't have was a second bathroom, right? There's multiple
You
ways.
can
Now,
second bathroom.
huh? Yeah, and there's
I said you
multiple
can
ways.
add a second bathroom.
Yeah, there's multiple ways to do that, right? Because here's the thing.
Yeah,
What if you could negotiate in the contract to have the bathroom installed, right?
that's true.
So there's a lot of different ways to look at that, and there's ways that we could put that together so that that will actually work, right? So,
Yeah,
um, and there's actually loans to do other things, 203K loans and stuff like that, right? So there's a bunch of different ways for buyers to not have to pay top dollar, but actually
yeah,
come in and get a deal and then make the home the way they want it. Because
yeah,
I've seen so many people go in and buy a renovated home and then go in and paint. That's $3,000 or $4,000 if they didn't do it themselves. So that's
yeah. And to your point about negotiation too, like as long as you got a good realtor, anything can be negotiated.
and anything can be
um,
negotiated. And
yeah,
that folks is actually what your real estate agent is on the job for. If you're looking for somebody, it's not about opening the door. That's just one part. The
yeah,
real part, the real job of the realtor profession is to negotiate and to get the buyer the most of
what they want.
what they need and want for their purchase, and then
Yeah,
look out for their best interest. That's the whole goal. Um,
yeah,
Now the house to home is that has the grant portion. Is there any other type of loans that you guys
yes.
have that have either the lower down payment, either 3.5% or 5%? Would that just be your basic FHA or any other type of loans
Yeah.
outside?
So the house to home grant is probably our best loan out there for first time home buyers because it covers that whole FHA down payment. But we do have a multitude of different loans, conventional loans. We can definitely work with VA loans. Pretty much, we have all kinds of loans. I think really we push the H2H because it's the most popular with our first time home buyers.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to someone who wants to buy? We would like to say in the next 6 months, but in the next year or two, because some folks are going through some financial struggles now that might not make them be able
Yeah.
to do anything in the next 6 months. But
Yeah. I would say definitely get realistic about, what you can afford or what you want to, what you're willing to pay for your home. And then really sit down and write out, make a list of, all of your debts, all of your payments, your monthly payments, and determine how much it is that you actually have to put towards a home. You can work with someone like myself if you want to reach out early on to kind of get that listing and know what that looks like. But just get really realistic about what you're willing to spend and don't go over it, right? You get a lot of customers that they may be pre-approved for a certain amount, or they tell us that they want to stay within a certain amount, and then they see this big pretty house and they are like, okay, I'll take that one. And it's like, wait a minute, you this is going to put you in a little bit of a tight spot. So staying realistic about what it is that you're willing to really spend, I think, is the biggest thing. And once you get out there and start house hunting, sticking to that price point. I think it's also really important, especially in Maryland, pay attention to taxes, right? I know in particularly with Baltimore City, we have very high taxes here. And so you might get a house that looks a really good price point, but once you factor in those property taxes, your monthly payments could get up there, right? So that's something that's I'm always pointing out to a lot of my clients as well, is you got to pay attention to what the taxes are on the property as well, because that's a big thing. That's a big thing.
Yep. Is there anything that you would like to share that would improve someone's chances of getting approved for a loan?
Um, I would definitely say keep an eye on your credit. That's a big one. Um, yeah, keep an eye on your credit. Again, get within a monthly budget and try to stick to it, because that's going to be kind of the biggest thing when our underwriters are looking at you and determining exactly how much you're going to be pre-qualified for. Is we're going to look at how you spend, how much you spend, any sort of debt that you have. I would just say, really, just like, again, we talk about preparing for the home buying process. Really sit down and dig through all of that detail and figure out what you can clean up, and get really realistic about what you can do and how you can get there before you actually jump out there with buying or making a big purchase.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Are there any red flags a buyer should look out for when looking to choose a lender?
Red flags. If you got a lender that's just telling you everything that you want to hear, right? Oh, you want this amount of house? Yeah, we can get you that. Or, you want to get a realtor that's going to tell it to you, that's going to tell you the truth, right? That's going to be completely honest with you. That's going to keep you within a safe monthly budget. Like we mentioned before, that's one of the first questions we ask you. Where do you feel comfortable with your monthly budget, right? For a home, what is it that you want to spend? And stick to a lender that's going to actually keep you within that budget. That's a big thing with us at Land Home, right? We're not going to take you far out. We're going to be very realistic with you. We're gonna run the numbers every time. Every time you find a house, we're gonna run the numbers. We're gonna tell you up front before you even put that offer in. Listen, this is what you're looking at. Make sure that this is something that you're comfortable with. But yeah, definitely look out for lenders that's just bendable when they're moving with whatever you say you want. They're not being honest and upfront with you about what that's actually going to look like for you.
So for
Yeah,
me, here's a big one. If they only
yeah.
pull your credit. So if Justin only pulls your credit report, you make sure you call me because we're gonna have to have a talk.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So any final tips for our viewers who are on their home buying journey?
Call me. Yeah, but again, if you're unsure of where you are, you unsure of how much you qualify for, you unsure of even where to start. I would say find you a really good lender, someone that again specializes in first time home buyers that have that patience, because that's what it takes. And start asking questions, especially with people like myself. I don't mind answering questions. I know how confusing it could get. I know how scary it can be sometimes when you are, just starting out and you don't know where to start. Get you a really good lender, get you a really good realtor. Yeah, start educating yourself. And like I said, just get really realistic about what it is that you're willing to, what you're willing to spend. And don't be afraid to ask questions. I'm always here. I'm always available. I will answer any questions. I know it from experience. So I got you.
Tell them how they can reach you. So
Oh yeah, definitely. You guys can reach me. Oh, sorry.
no,
What
I'm
were you
listening to
saying?
you. I'm listening to you.
Oh, okay. You guys can reach me via email. My email is justin.green at lhfs.com. You guys can also reach me via phone, and I can give my number to you guys if necessary. You can also reach me on social media. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram, Justin Green. I'm on Instagram, Justin Time for Nothing. So yeah, reach out to me at any time. You ask any questions. Everybody knows I'm super friendly. I'll answer any questions if you guys have them. So yeah.
Dustin, I appreciate you so much for a short notice
Of course.
coming and jumping